Johnny London here once again. Now I've had a trip out and bought a few bits and pieces. I got some different coloured paint because I've decided to go with a sage green on the inside of the cabin. I think that'll just sort of make it look a bit sort of less like a shed and more like a sort of proper little den. And I've also bought a couple of pieces of wood. These were expensive, my goodness. Since I've last been doing this sort of thing, £6 for a bit of beading. Come on, I'll get 2 of those. And this plank here is the solution to that sort of wonky plank. I'm never going to get that straight for making that second door, so I've had to buy that. That was another £9, if you can believe that. Anyway, I've got what I need, so let's get cracking. That's what's left of my pen after I trod on it.
The new plank is a little wide, so I trim it down.
Well, I didn't really get on very well with screwing those woods together for that other door. It took me ages to get all the holes to line up and counterbore them and faff about on one thing and another. So I thought this time I'll have a go and see if I get on any better with dowels. Of course, what you really want is biscuits and a biscuit cutter, but I'm afraid the only biscuits I've got around are digestives.
I still need to drill holes, of course. Then I tap in the dowels.
Well, I've ended up going for a screw and 2 dowel pegs in each one, which is quite a lot easier than 2 screws. And then plenty of this, the old PVA glue, should do the trick.
Screws next.
I just needed the screws on there just to be able to pull everything nice and tight. So I stuck a bit of extra glue in any gaps, not too many gaps actually, but I'm going to leave that to do for a while I go and get some eats.
I chop some more wood.
Trying to work out how best to fit these woods into the panels. I can do them how I like pretty much. But what seems to be working for me is sort of go with a thin to the thick to the thick and then thin and thin again and thick and thick. Just gives it sort of like kind of bit of a shape to it that I think will be quite attractive. That's a good fit actually. That's what I'm going for.
Tricky angle needed to butt onto the horizontals.
Right, well I've done the first 4 pieces and the strange thing is, width-wise, they just literally fit. I thought I'd probably have to do like a little extra covering strip in the middle or something like that, but for some reason they fit, so I must be doing something right. This one, the door's about a couple of mil smaller overall, so I'll have to shave just a tiny little bit off of one of those planks, but I'm still pretty happy with that. I'm doing the middle section now. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's 3 sets of panels to do. Because the woods are all different, the middle section doesn't have any complicated angles. It's just a question of cutting these square to the right size, so it should be a bit easier. So that's marked, so it'll just be like that. Well, it's taken a fair old while to cut all these bits They're all ever so slightly different. Most of them had sort of funny angles on the end to fit in with the horizontal bits of the doors, but they're all done, and I'm going to call it there. I think that'll do me for today, and then tomorrow all I've got to do is have a look at how to actually fix these in place. Probably need like a little bit of wood on the back to sort of hold things in place, and plenty of glue, something like that. But I'm happy. That's a big task out of the way, so time to go and have a nice cold one. Well, as I left things yesterday, I'd obviously finished all the door frames and cut all the pieces of wood to make up all the sort of panelling in between. So what I'm going to do this afternoon, I'm going to try and see if I can get all those fitted, and if I get time I might even get the hinges on and see if I can put the wood in the hole.
I lay all the wood back out so I can see what I'm doing. And I find some wood to hold everything in place.
Well, what I really wanted was some small pieces of wood to just sort of overlap on the inside of the doors where those upright panels go, and that will sort of hold them in place. I'm going to glue them as well, maybe a few nails or screws or something, I don't know, but mainly a little bit of wood to sort of hold them in place. And I've rummaged in my wood pile, and very fortunately I've just managed to find 6 of these bits. I can cut them in half. That'll give me 6 bits for each door. It's absolutely spot on, so I'm going to get on and do that.
They were just the right length too, as it happens. I'm certainly getting through the white stuff, and no mistake. Now everything will just drop in, like so. I get a resupply from the mothership. If it looks like it's going well, it is. And that is the result of good planning, even if I do say so myself.
Well, what I had to do there, I had to resort to some nails. Not very good really, because they're a little bit longer than the wood that they're going through, so I have to sort of clip them off afterwards. But I just had a situation where those flat pieces of wood, well, they're not flat, they're a bit sort of curved, buckled and bowed, and I couldn't get much surface contact with the glue without sort of mechanically forcing them into place with the nails. Might be able to tap the nails back out later when the glue's done its magic. Otherwise, as I said, I'll just clip them off, but we'll see how we go.
It's the last panel. And there you have it. I put the glue anywhere I can. It's very satisfying.
Right, well, I've run a nice little bit of glue in around all the gaps and joins. When that's dry, I'll turn the door over and do the same on the other side, but in the meantime, let's get the other door out.
Oh yes, you haven't gotten away that easily.
Just got a call from the chap who gave me all the wood. Actually, I told him, I said, I'm making a couple of doors out of some of that wood you gave me. He said, what, out of that old firewood? I said, yeah, some of it's just been so good, it's just literally too good to burn, so that's what I'm doing, making some doors.
And if anything, the second door goes easier. I know the drill by now. Stay with me, it's the last panel now. Nailing complete, I set about a final glue up.
Well, I'm not able to continue today any further really. I did want to hang those doors, but I'd rather let all that glue that I've put on really sort of dry properly overnight, and indeed I need to flip them over and do the same thing the other side and then let them dry for a couple of hours. So hopefully I'll get them all in place tomorrow, but for the meantime I'm happy enough.
And so for today, that's where we'll leave it. See you next time.